No, I didn't know what to think. I was just scared. I'm like, I just didn't want him to like go in. Like, I didn't want him to penetrate. Like, I didn't want that to happen. And then I just started crying, and he just got off. He got off, and he just got off and left, and closed the door and left like nothing ever happened. I never really explained myself. I'm like, this is what happened to me. If you guys don't want to believe me, that's fine. Period. Yeah, and I never talked about it again until now. Wow. Yeah, so since I'm 25 now, so from that time, 17, I've never talked about it again. So that was quite...
Welcome back to Empower Her. I'm your girl and your host, Nana. Remember, this is a show we educate to elevate and aspire to inspire. Today I have with me Miss Jemmiessah Osei. I have known sis for about a couple years now, and I've seen how she lives her life. I've known her story for some time now, and it's inspiring to me to see that somebody can go through what they went through, yet still come out doing what they're doing today. So today I am more than excited for you guys to hear her story. Hi, Jemmiessah.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing
good.
Awesome.
I want to say thank you for taking your time to come here and talk to me. And when you reached out that you want to be on my show, I was like, oh my God, yes. Yeah. You have to do it. You have to be on my show no matter what, because I feel like what you have to say is what some people need to hear, and to see that you can go through what you're going through and come out with shining bright colors. It's inspiring. Yeah. So we're going to talk about your story. Okay. But I want you to tell me more about who you are. Who is Miss Jemmiessah Osei?
So again, my full name is Jemmiessah Osei, but I go by J. And when it comes to ministry, I go by J Worships. Okay. I'm a young mother of two beautiful children, and also a student. And I'm just trying to, move into ministry and try to, venture out as much as I can.
So, you're young, you can.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay. That's about it. Yeah,
I love it. So we're gonna dive really, really deep into your story today and dissect it. But let's start from chapter 1.
Okay.
Where were you born, and how was life like as a child?
Okay, so I was born in Ghana. Okay. But both of my parents are Liberians.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So your parents are Liberian, which makes you Liberian, but being born in Ghana makes you Ghanaian as well.
Ghanaian, yes.
Okay.
So when people ask me, where are you from, it kind of gets a little challenging, because I'm like, I am Ghanaian because I was born there, but my family's from Liberia. Both of my parents are from Liberia. They're Liberians. Most of my family Liberians. So, yeah. So I was born in Ghana.
And at what age did you come to America?
I came to the States when I was about 2.5, 3 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
What state did you guys go to? Was it like Columbus straight out, or?
No. So actually, how I ended up being born in Ghana. Okay. That's a very interesting story, by the way.
Let's talk about it.
Yes.
How were you born in Ghana?
So during the time my mom was about 9 months pregnant with me, there was a civil war in Liberia. So during that time, a lot of people, they call them refugees, they had to travel to different countries around Liberia. So some went to Ghana, some went to Nigeria, some went to Ivory Coast, and then my parents ended up going to Ghana. So that's how my mom gave birth to me there in Ghana. So they were trying to run away from war. It was a very tragic time in Liberia. A lot of people died, and there was a lot of killings and massacre that was going on. So yeah, I believe Ghana was the closest. That's what most people, and there were a lot of programs too that helped a lot of people or refugees, venture out. So that's how they ended up in Ghana. Okay. And she had me there.
Okay, I love it. And coming here, you and your parents came here to America?
No, so I actually came before my mom. So I was the first person.
With who? Because you were 2.
I came with family. So I came with aunties and uncles through the refugee program. So I traveled and lived with my aunties and uncles, and my mom stayed back. Okay. And even during that time, they had a divorce.
Your parents?
My parents had a divorce.
Okay.
So they weren't together. weren't together at the time when all that was going on too. Like after they had me, I was like a year and a half when they got a divorce.
Okay.
Yeah, so I traveled first, and then after some time, my mom came and my dad stayed back.
Who did you live with in the States?
So I lived with, like I said, family, aunties and uncles.
Were you like moving around a lot, or you had like a specific place?
So we went to the state of Minnesota. That's where I grew up. Okay. So I didn't grow up entirely in Ohio. I was in Minnesota until I was like maybe 9 years old, and then that's when I traveled to Ohio. So like I said, I stayed with family, and I didn't move around. We stayed in one apartment, but where we were staying, it was like I believe it was like a two or three bedroom, and like everybody was in there.
Who's everybody? How many people?
I would say like maybe 4 of my uncles, 3 of my aunts. It was very crowded. Oh my God. Very, very crowded. I don't know why that situation happened like that, but so like I said, they took care of me, they raised me. It was pretty challenging knowing that my mom wasn't there, and I had to grow up with like relatives.
Were you close with the relatives, or is it like a distant thing?
I was close with them because, I was young, I was a baby, and they're the ones that were raising me. So even when my mom came, like, we didn't really have a close relationship. It's not anything personal, but it's just like she wasn't there to raise me. So it's like I didn't even really know her.
This was my mom. Who are you?
Like I knew she was my mom, but I didn't really like get used to her as much as I was used to like my aunties and uncles.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
So growing up in the house full of I don't know how many people, how was that like as a little girl? Like you were going to school back and forth. You would say you were about 8 or 9 till you guys moved here?
Yeah, but at that time I was still like maybe 3-4 years old.
So it didn't really have an impact on you back then because you were a little girl.
Yeah, I was a little girl. Yes.
Okay. So you guys then come to America. What like motivated that move to come to Ohio?
So, well, before I get into that, like I said, that time for me was very challenging. It was also tragic. I did have a tragic moment.
That's it. You were not even 10 yet.
I was not even 10 yet. So my mom came over. I think I was about 5 when she came over. So it took about maybe 2 years not having her around. So I was about 5 when she came over, and she also stayed in the same house until she could find herself, get herself together. So one thing I did learn about my mom, she was a very hard worker. Like she was motivated. She was very independent, strong-minded. She went after, what she needed. Yeah. So she was working like 2-3 jobs back to back at that time. Again,
were you the only child?
I'm the only child.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the only child.
Okay.
So she ended up working for some time and found her own place eventually. But where we lived, like I said, it was apartments, but like the area, it was just a lot of like families. I don't know how to explain, but it's like everyone was just staying in the same complex so I had aunties living in this apartment, cousins living in this apartment.
Okay.
So it was very like family oriented. Yeah, it's family oriented. So she ended up moving to her own place, and like I said, during that time I got close to a lot of family, and there was just one uncle that I got really, really close to. And for some reason I was just his favorite. Like I was his favorite. I
don't know where it's going, but I know where it's going.
Yeah, I was his favorite. Like I will always be the one out of all my cousins to get the candy. I'll always be the one.
I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
When he goes out, he'll always come back with only something for me. Okay. And at that time, I'm like, okay, I'm his favorite. Yeah, I'm his favorite, So I always wanted to get more closer to him. So, and he always tell me like, yeah, you're special. You're special. There's just something about you. You're different. You're special. You're my favorite.
I want you to see on the age that you were this time that you're talking about.
I was about 3.
3?
Yeah, 3.5, 4 years old. Yeah, 3.5, 4 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, so just remember that.
Yeah,
that I had an uncle that always said I was his favorite out of everybody. At that age, I didn't understand, but I liked the candy, I liked the toys, I liked everything that he would bring back anytime he goes out. And even when he's going out, he'll want to take me along, I guess, to show me off, because, you know, I was really pretty, you know.
Period.
So everyone liked me. Everyone saw me like, oh, she's cute. So he liked to take me out and stuff like that. So like I said, my mom came about maybe 2 years later. At that age, at that time, I was like 5,
Okay.
5, 6. Yeah, 5, 6.
Okay.
We stayed on our own, just like me and my mom. We ended up moving out. And around this time, I was like maybe 7. So because the place I was staying at was crowded, and this uncle talked to the family to convince them that he needed to move out too. So they knew that, you know, he used to mostly take care of me, mostly raise me, you know, he was the one that was close to me. So he ended up moving in with my mom and me. At first, my mom didn't have a problem with it, you know, because like I said, when she was away, she heard like this was the guy that was taking care of me, you know. He was the one that was.
She was grateful.
Yeah, she was grateful that at least someone, you know, is paying attention to me in that whole, you know, house full of people.
Yeah.
So he ended up moving in, and our relationship was great. You know, like I said, you know, we talked, we played, and stuff like that. We got really close. And he used to watch me when my mom goes to work. So I could remember there was this, like I said, around this time I was about 7. There's this particular day I can remember. It was like a morning that my mom had to go to work, and it was a 2-bedroom that we were staying in. So, you know, he was sleeping at the time. My mom was getting ready for work, which woke me up, because it was like I used to sleep. It was me and my mom in one room, and then he was staying in the other room. So my mom woke me up early in the morning, getting ready for work, and she ended up making me breakfast. She's like, you know, I have your breakfast. You know, when you're fully up, you can go eat breakfast and stuff like that. And also, I like to play with my cousins. Like I said, where we lived, like family was around. So mostly I would just go out and play with my cousins, you know, we'll play ball, whatever, you know, whatever kids do. So she's like, yeah, get some breakfast, you know, take a bath, get yourself ready. I don't mind. You can go out, you know, for the day, play with your friends, your cousins, whatever. So I'm like, okay, you know, 7-year-old, yeah, I'm going to eat breakfast and just get ready and go out. So like I said, he was sleeping. My mom made me food. And she's like, yeah, eat your food, get ready, you can go out. Just let me know, you know, whatever happens when I come back. So she left. She left for the day. And I could remember eating my breakfast. I had the little, I don't know if you remember, it's like a Nintendo DS back then.
Yeah.
So I was eating breakfast, playing my Nintendo, and, you know, just doing what kids do, you know. And then I remember my uncle woke up. He woke up and, you know, he came to the table. He's like, oh, where's your mom? I'm like, oh, she left. You know, she left for work. But, you know, there's food. There's breakfast that she made if you're hungry. So he's like, oh, I'm not hungry. So he went back to lay down. So after, okay. So after I was done eating, I went to take a bath. You know, like as my mom told me to do, eat, take a bath, and, you know, go out and play. So I went to take a bath, and while I was getting ready, you know, to take a bath, I remember I was in the bathroom, you know, undressing, and he came in, he opened the door on me, and I shouted like, no, you can't come in here, I'm naked, you know, I don't have any clothes on. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to take a bath. So I didn't think anything of it, because I'm 7, I didn't really think of anything weird at the time. So I went to take a bath, and after I got done, I went in my mom's room, and I was trying to get dressed, you know, and everything. And then I could remember he came in the room while I was getting dressed, and I told him, I'm like, I just got done taking a bath. I'm still getting dressed. I don't think it's okay for you to be in here because I don't have any clothes on. And then he was like, oh, I'm sorry. He left. He left. And he came back in the room again. And then he tried to convince me like, oh, it's okay. Nothing's going to happen. I'm just here to watch and protect you, And in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, I know him, he hasn't tried anything weird on me before, so I didn't think anything of it. So I'm like, okay. So I just, continued to get dressed. I was putting lotion on me. I didn't have any clothes on. So I sat on the bed trying to put like lotion on me and stuff like that. And he came and sat near me, and he said he could help me put lotion on. And at that moment, I felt very uncomfortable because I've never, no one has ever told me to, that they're going to help me put lotion on my own body. I always do it by myself. So I said, no, I can do it. You don't have to. I can do it. But he still continued and did it anyways. Mm-hmm. So he was putting lotion on me, touching me, and I felt very uncomfortable. I said, no, I don't like this. I want you to stop. And he got on top of me and pushed me down on the bed. I didn't know what to think at that moment. It was really hard because this is someone I trusted, and if I'm uncomfortable and I'm telling this person no and they're still doing it, it's like at that moment I lost my trust.
And you were 7.
I was 7.
You don't know much.
Yeah. He was on top of me and he started touching on me and rubbing on me in my private area, and I didn't like it. I started crying. I said, please stop. Please stop. And he still continued, and he took out his penis and started rubbing on me. Yes. I was really scared because, I'm sorry, I don't want to break down.
No, you're fine.
Okay. I was really scared because, my mom wasn't there, and I didn't know what to do in that situation because this is someone that I trusted, like I said, and he kept telling me, it's okay, you're my favorite. So, like, I wanted to believe that he would stop, but he just kept on, like, rubbing on me and using his penis to rub on me, and I was just so scared that he was gonna, like, penetrate because we've been taught in school, like, no one invades your private part, so I kept thinking about that, like, it's not okay, it's not okay to invade that personal area of mine. So I started crying. I said, please stop. I don't like it. Please stop. And I don't know if it's because I started crying. He somewhat felt weird about it. So he never penetrated. He just stopped. And no, actually, before he stopped, he said a statement. Like, he kept saying, you're my favorite. That's why I like you so much, because you're my favorite. And then he's like, it's okay. And then he's like, I'm sorry.
You're totally fine.
And then he's like, I'm going to F you. And I don't know. I didn't know what to think. I was just scared. I'm like, I just didn't want him to, like, go in. Like, I didn't want him to penetrate. Like, I didn't want that to happen. And then I just started crying, and he just got off. He got off, and he just got off and left, and closed the door and left like nothing ever happened. So I took a moment to kind of process what really happened to me. And I was just quiet on the bed, like, wait, did this really just happen? Like, what just happened? I just cleaned up my face, got dressed, and I went out to play. Never said anything to my mom about it, because I remember when she came home that day, like, I was really quiet. But she never knew what happened. And then, like, my uncle would try talking to me, and I wouldn't even mind him. Like, I would just ignore him. And my mom never see me act like that. Him. So she's like, why are you being disrespectful? You know, African parents, why are you being disrespectful? Your uncle's talking to you. You're not talking back, or you're not even minding him. I'm like, I just don't want to talk to him. I just don't want to talk to him. She never understood.
And you didn't tell her?
I didn't tell her. But she knew there was something off.
Wrong, yeah.
She's like, oh, did your uncle not buy you a toy or something like that, because he will always come with something, I'm like, I just don't want to talk to him. So she said, okay.
How long did that go on for?
To be honest, that was actually the only time he did that.
No, I mean, like, you not talking to him, and your mom trying to see why she not talking to.
Oh, it went on for a long time.
He eventually move out. And then
yeah, I think one of my aunties ended up buying a house.
Okay.
And I think he ended up moving out. Okay. But he was there for another couple of months to a year. But like I said, that was the only incident. He never did that to me.
But definitely drew a wedge between you.
Yeah, definitely. I stayed away. I stayed away. I never talked to him, never interacted with him or anything like that. So my mom thought, maybe because I'm getting older or something. Like, I don't know. I don't know. But, yeah, he ended up moving out. And then after about a year or so, my mom met my stepdad now. And they started dating and eventually, like, got married and stuff like that. So that's how we ended up in Ohio. Okay. Because my stepdad's family stays in Ohio. Okay. So we're in Toledo for about, like, 3 or 4 years before we moved to Columbus. Okay. Yeah, so my mom got remarried and met my stepdad. And then they had 3 of my siblings. So I'm the oldest. Okay. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Does your mom to this day, like, how long did it take you to tell her? I was asked that.
So it took me quite a while.
How old were you when you told her?
I was 17. Mm-hmm. So about 10 years. 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. And how it even came about, I had a auntie who used to gather, like, my cousins and stuff and, like, just kind of talk to us about that kind of stuff, because I think she was into counseling or something.
Your mom or your auntie?
My auntie. My auntie was into counseling. So I think, that's the reason. She used to, like, talk to us about, like, stuff like that, like, being molested, rape, and all that. So, and she also went through the same thing when she was young. So when she shared her experience, that's when I'm like, okay, so it is okay to talk about it. Because in my head, I'm thinking, I don't want to talk about it because that's Mommy my uncle. That's my uncle, my family. Yeah. They're not going to believe me. That is what was going through my head. That's why I never opened up, because my mom trusted this man, and she never thought anything weird of it. And I'm like, if I open up, like, she might kick him out or, just stuff like that. So after my auntie was educating us about that stuff, even though I heard it in school, but coming from someone, that I know close to me, that talks about it and say it's okay to talk about it if it ever happens, that's when I opened up. So I was in
front of everybody. You talked about it,
huh?
Like, you talked about it in front of everybody in the room.
No, I didn't open up there. I didn't open up with them. I just kept it in my head, like, okay, it's okay to talk about it. And even before, let me add this. Even before, when I turned, like, when I was 17, even before I opened up to my parents about it, some years passed. He was old, like, and he got sick. Yeah, he got sick. Ended up not passing. Ended up dying. So the crazy thing is, like, now I'm thinking, okay, wait, no. Let me fast forward. So yeah, we ended up finding out, like, he passed and stuff like that, but I didn't care, I didn't care about him or anything like that. So when I opened up to my parents, it was kind of opposite. Like, they didn't believe me. Oh. They did not believe me. They're like, are you sure? Because this man is dead. Like, you can't be lying on someone who's dead. Like, are you really, really sure? And they're like, is it because your auntie,
I just got chills.
is it because your auntie said it happened to her, so you also want to, you know, hop on the bandwagon and say it happened to you too? And I never really explained myself. I'm like, this is what happened to me. If you guys don't want to believe me, that's fine.
Period.
Yeah, and I never talked about it again until now.
Wow.
Yeah, so since I'm 25 now, so from that time, 17, I've never talked about it again. So that was quite a, yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna keep that in mind as you move forward in your story.